Join me on a fascinating journey where I show you some of the techniques used in scale aeromodelling. Hello again modellers, and welcome back to the channel. Today it's just a quick video. I keep saying that, but it never is. Anyway, it's a video that just shows how I did the rigging wire for the tailplane and the fin and rudder, and I also connect up the control surfaces, and we'll have a look and see how the radio operates those surfaces, and hopefully it will work. And I've got all the geometry right and what have you. Anyway, so as I say, just a quick video covering the thread, you know, how I attach the fishing line to the control surfaces. Well, as you can see, I'm onto the hinges, and what I've done is I've added 1mm rod through the surface, and what I've used is a very small drill bit just in my fingers, a 1mm drill bit in my fingers to drill a hole through the glue joint between the 3 pieces of carbon rod, and I've put a 1mm rod through there. It's 32mm long, so that's allowing 1mm for the depth of the surface and 15mm either side. That's how long I want the horns. And then I've chamfered a very well, this is 1mm thick by I think a 6mm wide carbon flat, and I've just sanded it to make a little wedge, and the little wedge is then glued to the 1mm upright. Okay, very difficult to do, very fiddly, and I didn't bother filming it because it was so fiddly and so difficult and really did not need another thing to worry about. What I'm adding now is the lines that go from the horn to the corner and the horn to here. And what I've actually done is I've gone from the horn on the bottom to this point here, on the top, sorry, and then I've glued it, and now I'm going to go from that point back to the horn but on the bottom side, loop it round, pull it semi-taut, just loop it round there, and then bring it to the tip, which is where it goes around the tip. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiny drop of thin CA on the horn where that goes through. Then I've got some activator on a piece of piano wire that I just dip in the pot. That gives me a very precise amount. Now I'm going to go to the tip of the elevator, add another little drop, bit of activator again, just so I can get on, and that should now seal that. Come back to the upper surface, where I started from, and then I'm going to go from that corner that I just did, stretch it fairly taut, and then go around the horn a whole loop and pull it as taut as I can, taut as I dare. Okay. I need to hold the surface still while I pull it. Again, a little drop of glue on there. And that's got it. Now I can trim the ends off just very carefully. There we go. This is I think it's labelled as 1/8 pounds, but it isn't actually. It's 5 pound breaking strain fishing line, more than we need. And there you go. You can see we've got the lines running to the horn that give the horn the rigidity of the rest of the surface. Very clever way of doing it. Now we need to look at the actual control cables. Here are the two for this side, bundled in with the two from the other side. So I'm just going to separate them out so I know which goes to the top and which goes to the bottom. You really mustn't get this wrong. I'm actually going to cut that tape off of there rather than mess around. Right, that's the two lines. Now the upper one goes to the lower surface. The upper in the cockpit goes to the lower surface, so that's the lower surface one. And then this is the upper surface. So what I'm going to do is just lay that on there for a second. I've got two pieces of wood that have little notches cut out, and the little notches clear the hinge, because the hinge is a little bit thicker than the surface. And all I'm going to do is lock it in place, if I can. And then this is a little clip, very low strength clip. It's actually a hair clip, and that just locks the elevator in the straight and level, which it is. Now there's our elevator pull line. It's tangled around something, so we just pull that to the back. And we go round the horn. Oops. And we pull it fairly tight, but not too tight, because we've got to get the tension the same on the other side. That's a drop of glue on there. A bit more on just to make sure. Bit of activator to set it. And then we can trim that line off. That glue didn't actually set there. Let's do it again. It's done the first part, but it didn't do the second bit. For some reason. That's better. Okay. There we go. Now that's the elevator line sorted on that one. Now we need to flip it over. And do the pull down line. Again, we loop it around this. Now I'm not sure whether to release the device that's holding it, you know, the clip that's holding it level. And I did on the rudder, as you can see I've already done the rudder. I released it and then I pulled this until the tension was right and the elevator was level. And it should be about there, but do I glue it like that, or shall I just release the clip and see if I can pull the tension till I get it right? Let's release the clip. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. It was right, I think. A bit more glue than I wanted there, but never mind. That should now be attached. There's no point in doing another loop. It's either attached or it isn't. If any of these cables snap, I'm in a whole lot of trouble. Because they actually run through the fuselage, so. So that's the elevator hinged and sorted on the one side. And that's actually moving the wrong way, I think. Not to worry. It just means the control column that I was going to attach to the cockpit won't move in the right direction. I'm not worried about that. In fact, I may not even bother with the control column. I'll add it, but I won't care if it moves the wrong direction. It's not going to get me any extra points for a functioning control column. Right, we'll add the clip again to this section. Make sure that's level. It is. And we just got to find the two lines, wherever they've gone. They're stretching along the back somewhere. And they seem to have glued themselves to the fuselage. How the hell has that happened? This could be a disaster. Yeah, they've actually glued themselves to the fuselage. Glue has got on them somehow. Well, one's come free. Oh, at one end it's glued down here as well. I think this is when I glued the tailplane on. They must have touched where the glue joint was. Well, one's come free. Let's hope this one does. But this is glued along its entire length. I also don't want to damage the tissue, obviously. Not very good, eh? I'm going to have to just pull. And it's come free. Thank goodness for that. Well, that was a worry. Now that line should go to the bottom. I just want to make sure it's the bottom line over there as well that's going. Yes, so the line from the top goes to the bottom. So I'll just wrap that around the horn. Put a little bit of tension on it. Activator. I'll snip the excess off. And we've just got the top one to do. Like that. I'm going to remove the clip because I did last time and it was fine. And there we have it. So with any luck, when the servos move, those tail surfaces should move appropriately. Are we brave enough to try it? I think we are. So,
Welcome to OpenTX. Throttle warning. Engine off.
Select the Blackburn.
Engine disabled.
Okay.
Throttle elevator mix enabled. 100%. Logs disabled.
Let's see if we can find a battery. So all I do is run them like this, creating a 2S pack. Like that, reds to reds. So that one then just goes into the receiver. So are we ready? Fingers crossed we don't drive anything too far. Well, that looks promising, doesn't it? So we'll have a go with the elevator, reversed, as we thought. Throw is nice though. And I'm not sure if you can actually see this. So you can see what's going on. When I pull the up elevator, it goes down through the lines that you can see. Going to the elevator. It's not going to be a lot of power there, but we should be alright. Let's have a quick look at the rudder. As you may remember, the rudder servo at the front there feeds a rod, and then there's that bell crank, a vertical bell crank. The two lines go through the little bit of PTFE tubing through the cockpit area. Then they travel all the way down the fuselage and they emerge just there and go onto the horn. Fingers crossed. Right, it's not on the rudder. It's on the aileron. And that's full travel. It's not centering exactly right, but hopefully I'll be able to fly it on that regardless. The elevator's centering really nicely and full travel, and looks about right as well. I think we're good enough to go on that. There's just a little bit of extra cable that I forgot to snip off there. I'll do that now while I'm looking at it without catching anything else. There we go. And I think you'll agree we're good to go. Right, there you go. Just a short video just to show you that. I can add some more rigging now from the fin down to the tailplane, etc. And I'm going to do it in exactly the same way that you just saw me do it for the lines at the back, which you probably can't even see, but they're there, and they're also there on the rudder. You can see where the horn, and there's lines going up to add strength. Not that it really needs it, but they're there anyway. So I'll just add the ones that go from the fin to the tailplane and around, just so that they're done. Now this is going to make this model really delicate now, because these lines here, which you can just about see, the elevator pull lines, obviously stick out the side of the fuselage quite a lot. So every time you pick it up, you've got to be really careful you don't squash those lines. So it's now very delicate. When I spray it, I'll spray it the cream colour, and then I might pick these lines out with just a little tiny bit of silver airbrush with a piece of paper underneath to protect the white, just to pick them out again. And I'm probably going to have to pick out the black again, because that should be the black should be black. But when I put the cream on, that's probably going to wash away some of that or cover up some of that. You can see the one area that I've got some wrinkles there, which I'm not happy with. When the lighting's in just the right direction, you see them, but there you go, so be it. You can see the carbon framework at the front as well, that's all good. So and all the undercarriage is now done. The felt pens arrived, and the quick test of that looked very promising indeed. I've got it here. So this is the sample piece with a few colours, and it's an acrylic pen, so it kind of goes on like paint. It's really nice, and you can glue back over the top of it, so the acrylic doesn't make the wood badly affected by the surface like the oil did in the cockpit. So what I'm intending to do is redo this cockpit, probably with that colour on the left there, the orangey colour. Anyway, that's the controls configured. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.